Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the moment has almost arrived. We are mere hours away from the big Animal Crossing New Horizons Nintendo Direct 2021. We're so close, I can taste it, and we're so close, I've already posted my live stream. Yep, I'll be streaming early. We're gonna have a party, a pigeon-themed party. It's gonna be fantastic. Make sure to click the link in the description down below to bookmark the page and get ready for the goods. It is going to be so fun, but today, I want to talk about some new reveals that Nintendo dropped, some new information that we have to cover, and my confusion over the community and what's going on and why I think it's so sad and also just so off base. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hope you're having a wonderful, magical day. Brewster, he's been revealed. All right, let's start there. A picture popped up. I don't know if it was intentional. I don't know if it was accidental, but the German Nintendo YouTube and the Spain Nintendo YouTube showed off Brewster. The boy, the pigeon, the wonder, the coffee-making king is here, and he is looking plump as ever. That pigeon teal, that yellow beak, he is vibrant and gonna look great on my OLED screen. You can just tell that he shines, and he has been waiting. But there's more in store because this picture, while blurry, indicates the roost's size and scope. It is a luscious building, and make sure to let me know what you think is hiding behind him in the comments down below. I've also been deep in looking at the other Animal Crossing Direct, and I've found some stuff that is gonna get you so freaking pumped. All right, there's stuff that will probably make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up once you realize what this new Direct is about to be. Before we get any further though, big shout out to my fine friends at Lexar. You know they deliver the Play Card. It is the premier memory card for Nintendo Switch, and whether you got a new Switch OLED or your Switch is just getting a bunch of games or you want to get a new island going, this is the perfect card to save all your games and store them for the future. It runs fast, it runs safe, and it runs consistently, and I love that they have so many different sizes. Plus, they love the show, they love AC, and they love us. So make sure to click the link in the description down below. Every time you do, it helps support me and the channel, and it's honestly a really great memory card. It's actually the best memory card. It seems to me like the G word is back. The G word is back, and it's not a big surprise. That wouldn't be like a shocking reveal because we have seen it pop up in the Animal Crossing strategy guide. But gyroids look to be on the shelf behind Brewster. I mean, he's got little cubby holes for him, perfect sizes. You can kind of see the three-pronged nature. I feel like those are gyroids, and I feel like that is going to be one of the big compliments to the coffee and cocoa of the Roost, and obviously the little diner cafe aspect. It's going to be gyroids, and they will be involved as well. So please settle yourself. I know that pigeon is getting your feathers all ruffled, and you are ready for Friday, but some people seem not ready for Friday. And I have some new data and research that I want to divulge, but let me set the scene here. It seems like people are very tepid about this Direct, and I mean like they're very concerned and trying not to get excited. In fact, I see a lot of people saying, okay, the Roost is going to bring players back for like a week. It's just too little too late. All right, JoJo coming in with that catchy song, and they're saying that you cannot revitalize a game with a pigeon. But I'm here to tell you that that's just flat out misguided. It's just flat out not accurate because they're missing what's actually going on here. Yes, Brewster and the Roost are coming back, but that is just the core. That is just the beginning. Okay, you've believed in hashtag Trust SwitchForce since the days when I told you the Sanrio cards would be dropping all of the new villagers. Everyone else said it would just be items. It was gonna be lame. It wasn't gonna be a big deal. And look what happened. Then everyone said Brewster would never come back. Nintendo gave up. They're not doing big updates. And now you've seen him with your own eyes in New Horizons. So I want to try and understand why everyone is kind of glass half empty with this game, and they're trying to temper expectations, which I appreciate and I understand. But look, this is a full-on Nintendo Direct for Animal Crossing. There is no way that it's just Brewster and the Roost. There is going to be a plethora of new content, and I have something really interesting I wanted to tell you about. All right, this goes back to the first Animal Crossing Direct. I was watching it back and I was paying attention and I was seeing how they do things, because I've also seen so many people in the community say it's going to be 15 minutes of Brewster. They're going to go step by step, nitty gritty. They're going to pluck every feather. 15 minutes long on Brewster, 10 minutes on Brewster, 12 minutes on Brewster. You ready for this? In the initial Animal Crossing Direct, where at the time they had to reveal all the information, they had to share everything about the game because we didn't know what the New Horizons were really all about. They spent less than 10 seconds on the museum. They spent less than 10 seconds on Nook's Cranny. They spent less than 10 seconds, yep, on the Able Sisters. Now, if you want to get a little bit larger, they spent 1.5 minutes on Nook Miles, and all that they do, the Nook Stop Terminal, the fact that you could get the little stamps, that was 1.5 minutes. They even spent under 2 minutes on the airport, the dodos, multiplayer travel. So this shows that when they have a narrated Nintendo Direct, they spend small chunks of time divulging their features. Now, I know this is later in the game and there's not a million things to reveal. There's probably a nice handful, right? Like a little shake of dice. Which one are they gonna drop first and how long is it gonna go for? But I cannot see a world where Nintendo spends 10 minutes going through every little bit. I mean, they'll show off Brewster, they'll tell you what he does, they'll open our eyes to the Roost and see who comes to visit. If you didn't see my last video, you should absolutely check it out about who's coming to visit. And then I think they'll move on. I'm expecting maybe 2 to 4 minute segment on Brewster and The Roost, and that leaves 16 minutes for everything else. Now, just to give you some more info from the past, because remember, that is what we can go on, that's what we know to be true. Speculation, sure. Nintendo is a pattern company. They spent 1.5 minutes introing the last Direct. I could see them doing something similar. They spent 4.5 minutes giving us intro information about the game, and that was really setting the stage for your deserted island getaway package and all those details. They actually had one segment that was 7.5 minutes long, where they detailed everything that the game kind of has, like all the big features and what you could expect to enjoy and spend your time doing in the game. Now, that was the largest segment of the Direct, 7.5 minutes. That first Direct was 27 minutes. I don't expect in this 20-minute Direct anything to take 7.5 minutes. So I want you guys to tell me what else you think is gonna fill the space, but now let me tell you what I think is gonna fill the space, all right? Brewster and The Roost gets about 2 to 4 minutes. An intro that I could see going for 1.5 minutes, maybe even kind of recapping what's happened, how far we've come, the journey we've made together, thanking players, just getting excited about this community. And let me pause. Get excited about this community. I see some people saying, the game is dying. They've let it go. People have given up. They've moved on. Are you crazy? Did you see how many people were happy about Brewster finally coming to the game? An Animal Crossing Direct? Look, that was announced in a Nintendo Direct that was phenomenal, and it was probably the most screen-worthy moment. I don't buy it that people are done with this. I don't buy it that the community is deflated. I don't buy it that it's just doom and gloom, and maybe it's gonna be the Roost. Good for a week of play. Are you kidding me? This is our game, this is our fun, and our Pigeon Boy is back as just one piece, okay? I am so hyped about this, and I want you to let yourself get excited, right? You don't have to think that this is gonna be world-changing, earth-shattering, but come on, step out of your shell. Everybody's saying this is gonna be basic, limited, just the Roost, not enough, too little too late, JoJo. But I'm telling you, it's gonna be more. So get excited. Friday morning's gonna be super fun. I hope you'll spend it with me. I think we're gonna see a lot of the things that are previously Datamine. Now, this is no crazy prediction because it's been shown in the code, but I do think Katrina and Fortunes are going to come back. I do think we are gonna get that. I think we're gonna get a glimpse of what is going on with these jobs. Remember, we've seen different costumes popping up. Whether that involves working at the Roost or whether that involves something separate, I'm not so sure, but I expect to see something new with the villagers. We obviously will get a big segment on amiibo cards, right? Series 5 is coming, and I have said before, I think it's gonna be bringing in a lot of old villagers and probably some new ones. There are a lot of slots to fill. We've only got about like 25 in terms of, who we have remaining and NPCs and things like that, maybe even less. And then there's so many more. And even if they bring in all the RV characters, still a lot of slots. I can see Nintendo just rolling through, these are back, these are back. Zelda villagers are coming, you got some new collaborations. There's only like 15 or 20 if you take into account all the villagers that still need to be added to the amiibo card series, and you take in the new NPCs, and then even if they add the 50 from the RV set back in New Leaf, that's still only like 75. That means there's like 25 or so slots to still fill up, and I think Nintendo's just gonna hit it and hit it and hit it, and spend 2 to 3 minutes, maybe 4, talking about the amiibo cards and the return of fan favorite villagers, and maybe even some new faces. I mean, my fingers crossed prayers for a new species. I think that's highly unlikely. See, I'm reasonable, I have some realism here, but I do think the Zelda villagers will be back. And I wouldn't be surprised to see an Animal Crossing cross Legend of Zelda collab, similar and in the vein of the Mario collab. I don't think everything will release at the same time. I do think the big package will drop in November, like they've said. That'll be Brewster and The Roost, that'll probably be Katrina, that might be Crops, and that might be Cap'n. I'm gonna throw Cap'n out there as the other big piece of the puzzle that I believe will happen, because we have a doc, and you know I'm all about data and what's already been derived in the game. Cap'n in multiplayer makes sense. It's something that has taken place in past titles. We got that doc, and he's a character that is beloved. I think those will probably be the big pillars. Brewster and The Roost, right, whatever the jobs entail, the amiibo cards, and Cap'n. And I think that would be forming a really fantastic 2.0. And I don't know if Nintendo is ballsy enough to just call this straight up 2.0, but I think they will. And I think you'll feel like it's 2.0, whatever number they decide to assign, right? Age is just a number, but we know when an important update happens. In 20 minutes, my friends, like maybe you haven't seen a bunch of directs, maybe you haven't paid attention or weren't here when the first one dropped, but like, this is a big deal. This ain't a trailer. This ain't a blog post. This is Nintendo dropping all the details. And I think the Zelda collab might hit later. It might even hit in early 2022. I mean, when the Mario collab got announced and when they first showed off the Power Star, they did kind of have a long lead up. In fact, they might even just tease it, but I feel like we will get a lot for November, and then I think we will get looks ahead. So I would expect to see some new content for Turkey Day, and for Toy Day, and to see what Franklin and Jingle are going to be up to in 2021. I expect them to showcase maybe some of the new items, and maybe some of the flourishes that might build on what's added in this update. So if there is more involved with crops and cooking, perhaps we'll see that. I also expect there to be a few quality of life adjustments, but not necessarily the ones that players have wanted most. I don't think we'll get like speedier dialogue or a quicker airport system. I don't even know if we'll get batch crafting, but I think of all the things, that would be the most plausible for them to add. Batch crafting and batch buying to me seems like something that doesn't interrupt the normal flow, progression, and pace of Animal Crossing. Because remember, Nintendo has a real solid idea of what this game is, what it's always been, and what they want it to be. And I think some of the quality of life things we would like interrupt and kind of speed things to a point that maybe Nintendo hasn't really planned for and doesn't really want. I also fully expect something that we just can't call, something totally new. Look, I do love data and I do love the past, but this is a new game. And it's been proven that there's new features in this title. Terraforming, brand new. CJ, Flick, Daisy May, brand new. There are concepts and characters in this game that have never been seen before. And I think this is the opportunity for Nintendo to, yes, go to the past and say, hey, New Horizons is getting some new leaves. But it's also an opportunity for them to chart their own course and show why this deserted island is the best island to be. And I just want everyone to enjoy this moment. Look, the world is often a sad, crazy, disturbing, and sometimes just downright awful place. Animal Crossing has been a sanctuary of safety and smiles for us for a year and a half now, and this moment, it should be a great one. So let your imagination run a bit. I mean, you don't have to say that the game's gonna double in size or your island is gonna grow to the size of freaking Hawaii, but I think it's fine to be excited. In fact, I encourage it. This is a great moment for our community. I hope that you'll join me. Freaking Friday morning, Freaky Friday, Flying Friday, Flap Around Friday, and Fun Friday. Soak it up, get excited, hashtag trust SwitchForce, and let's do this thing. This is the Animal Crossing update we've been waiting for. This is the big one. Nintendo's main Switch games have always gotten small updates and big updates. This is the big one. 20-minute direct. They spent 10 seconds on Nook's Cranny. They spent 10 seconds on a whole museum. I mean, there's bugs, and there's fish, and there's bones, and there's blathers, and there's doors that eventually would open, and they spent 10 seconds. So Brewster will be a part, he'll be a big part, but he's just a chunk. He's just a feather in the cap, and boy, oh boy, I am ready for this moment. So let's enjoy, let's rejoice. Smash that like button if you're pumped. Hopefully I got you. Your spirit's a little more lifted, a little more excited, a little more ready to go. This is it. Let's have fun with it, let's enjoy. And thank you so much for being a part of this community for a year and a half. Thank goodness we stuck together. Thank goodness we had patience. Thank goodness we trusted. And thank goodness, man, we thought positive. Look at it, we're about to be recorded. And look at us. We're all doing good, and we're doing it together. So until next time, everybody, thanks so much for watching. I love you. Hopefully I'll see you on the live stream. Until that time, though, everybody, have a fantastic day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive, stay excited. SwitchForce, out.